Welcome back to Daytime. You know what? Travel is great any time of year. And we're going to talk about some travel, some big travel ideas with a lady who's a little bit jet-lagged herself because she's just back from traveling. Corinne Taylor joins us from Bucket List Travel Adventures. Welcome back.
Good afternoon, morning, evening.
I was going to say, so a couple of days ago, What time would this have been in your world,
Well, it's
Corinne?
about bedtime, actually. 9 o'clock, and for somebody who went to bed, I think, at about 8, the latest every night on the hike up to Everest. Yeah, it's late.
And I like the way you just slide that in there. The hike up Everest.
Yeah.
Which isn't just your everyday, ordinary hike either.
No.
This is Mount Everest, and you were there.
I was, yeah. It seems surreal, actually, that I was just there like a couple days ago, and it's funny because the group said the same thing. You know, they go, like, we flew home from Lukla today. We hiked Everest yesterday. And they're like, can you imagine everything we did in one day? And a few of them actually mentioned that it was the Amazing Race. They felt like they were on the Amazing Race without, and they were, it was funny, they're at a couple spots, and they're like, can you imagine trying to find the red and yellow flag here? And I'm like, no, I cannot imagine trying to find it. But yeah, no, it was very interesting. We went through about every weather, every season in a day, basically.
Wow.
You know, we'd get up in the morning, it would be beautiful, clear, sunny, and then next thing you know, the clouds would be rolling in. One day we were literally, instead of walking on the clouds, we were walking through the clouds, which was quite interesting.
What was that like?
Yeah, it's a very surreal experience. You sort of hit the tree line, and then it's very barren. We always, anytime you're sort of above the tree line, you liken it to the moon. And then the cloud rolled in, so you were sort of walking through this misty, rolling cloud, and clouds are cold, just so you know. Cloud mist is not hot, so you know, we were kind of like, it would be nice if the sun came out again. It was getting a little chilly, and then of course it snowed on us that day, and it was a gamut of everything.
How do you prepare when you decide you're going to climb Everest? How do you prepare for that?
I always tell my guys to do a lot of stairs. You know, start practicing the hiking, do some stair steps. Most of the people that Everest appeals to are fairly active type of people, or they've done something before in altitude. That's the other thing. You've got the altitude issue where if someone's never hiked in altitude before, you have no idea what they're going to be like at that level, so you always want to make sure they've got their altitude medication and that they realize some of the symptoms, because it does really alarm you. Like I always say to people, you feel like you're really out of shape or there's an elephant on your chest. You know, at home you could run up the 5 flights of stair steps, be barely winded, and over there, you know, at 4,200 meters or 48, you're like 5 steps and it's like, and it's quite funny because we have video, you know, and we're taking film of people and we're kind of going, they're like, and we just climbed up here, and everyone's like, listen to us panting. But you know, as long as people realize that's normal, you know, and they have that in the back of their head too, because it can be very disconcerting and people get a little panicked, and you're like, this is normal, relax, you know.
It's one thing to put Mount Everest on your bucket list and say I want to climb it one day. It's another thing to truly be prepared and ready for what it's going to be like, and that's what I love, what you bring to the table. You've been there, you've done that, and you know, and you've done the background so that when people are going, they really know what to expect on this.
Yeah, we try our best. I mean, I had gone over in December as well to sort of pre-research it so I could say, you know, the tea houses are basic, it's just a bed, it's cold water, you know, the meals are anywhere from fried rice to their typical dumpling, which is a momo. You know, you're not going to get anything crazy high-end or anything. It's just your basic food and that type of thing, so people have a good idea of what they're going to get. I mean, there's always a few things beyond our control. Like this time when we flew over, we were actually delayed a day in Kathmandu because of the weather, so we didn't actually get to the mountain the first day. But that was another thing I had experienced when I was there. We'd been delayed 4 hours each way, so I had sort of said, don't be surprised if we get delayed. You know, this happens. It's quite common. We have a couple extra days and that type of thing. So there was sort of those little elements of surprise that we could take out of it, which made people feel a little more comfortable as well. And 14 went up, 14 went to base camp, and 14 came down healthy.
That's always
so it was amazing. I mean, how well prepared was the group when I can say that? My guide actually said he's only had 3 groups where the entire group has gotten all the way to base camp and back without any problems. And I mean, day 2 we met a lady on the mountain who had already lost 3 of her people, and that was only the second day. They had one girl that had gone back to Kathmandu, you know, being ill. One fellow was in the hospital, and so I had sort of said to my guys, you see why we're not eating meat and dairy and vegetables here? You know, we're eating more vegetables. We didn't do the meat and the dairy. And they were like, yeah, you know, they realized that there was a lot of these little safeguards to ensure their success along the way as well.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Well, you know, this is National Volunteer Week, and one of the things you wanted to address was some of the volunteering that happens with the trips that you take.
We do. We have a fabulous volunteer base with our groups, and we've had, you know, the last 2 years in a row, we've had a volunteer trip to Peru where we've painted a school, helped out at a local hospital in Africa. So we have a lot of volunteer-oriented people that actually come on our trips, and if they don't start with a volunteering trip, we usually find that they will actually evolve into a volunteering trip. It was funny, a conversation one day at the Tea House in Everest. They were discussing volunteering trips and different companies and different things that they could do. So it's funny how many like-minded people there are that want to do something like that on their vacations. And they're also volunteers here as well. So, you know, they're Girl Guide leaders, or they're out and about in the communities here, and then they just sort of take it to the next step and go somewhere else and volunteer. So we're looking forward to a volunteer program again in Africa next year, and we have one in Peru again this year. And so, yeah, I mean, everybody keeps asking. So many of our people have came back and keep talking about it, and they're like, when's the next one? We want to go now. We heard about the experiences. So
yeah, and I think that's because people are realizing there's different types of travel experiences. Sometimes you want to go where it's just the relaxation. I want sun, I want a chair, and I want water. Other times you want the experience. And when you're looking for the experience vacation or volunteerism vacation, that's what you do so well.
Yeah, that's what we do. That's our forte. I mean, we want to give you that little extra special experience that you're not going to get anywhere else. You know, hands-on in the communities, meeting the people, and from what our feedback, we're doing that quite well. So yeah, if you want something like that, definitely give us a call.
And I'd just like to be able to say, you know, I was sitting having tea at the top of Everest, and I was, you know, in the tea house at Everest, and it's just so cool to say that. Bucket List Travel Adventure. For more information, thanks so much for joining us. Go get some sleep.
I know.
Okay, back with more in a moment. Stay with us.